Welcome back to Tales from Nerd. I'm your host, a random nerd 2016/Kevin. Of course, this is the weekly podcast where I talk about the comics coming out this week, and I tell you if it's a good jumping off point or not. So there we go. Of course, we are going to talk about Marvel and DC and independent comics. And of course, if you're a DC fan, of course, comics come out every Tuesday. Or if you just want to collect Marvel or independent comics, they come out on Wednesday. If you're like me, I just pick everything up on Wednesday because it's much easier. But yes, uh, it's still a heavy week. A lot of books, especially a lot of books like a lot of books came out last week. Still not caught up because I'm still a month behind. But for the books I'm caught up with, I'll let you know if it's jumping up one. If it's not, I'll just let you know this is where I left off. But we're gonna go to the first book of the week, which is by DC Comics. We got Action Comics number 1030. It's written by Becky Cloonan, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Michael Conrad. It's penciler by Phil Hester, art by Michael Von Oming, and Daniel Sampere. And inker is by Eric Gupster, and colors and cover art by Hi-Fi, and letter by Dave Sharpie, and cover art by Michael Janin. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. World War Rising starts here. A new chapter in Superman's life begins as the challenges of Dark Knight's death metal are causing Clark Kent to feel a change in his powers. Is it possible the Metropolis Marvel could be losing a step? His struggles in taking down the creature from the breach would suggest as much. If he's going to continue to protect the people of Earth, he'll have to adapt, especially with threats like Mongol out there waiting to launch their biggest attacks on Earth yet. That's right, those are world battleships just outside our orbit, and they're heading straight for us. Meanwhile, in the Midnighter backup story, the bad boy of the Authority has to figure out what Andrzej Trojan is up to in the present if he ever wants to get back to the future state, and swap places with the Midnighter of 2021, whom he left stranded on Warworld. Yes, basically it's a new jumping off point. If you want a reaction, you can jump on now. Action started with 1029. Well, Superman and Action were two stories, but they're just it's just an introduction to Philip Kennedy Johnson because he's writing both. But of course, if you want to read what that happened, you want to read Superman number 29 and Action Comics number 1029. But if you say I don't want to read that, maybe this will give me a backstory, like this is going to be happening, which it does give you in the description. Action Comics 1030 is a good jumping out point. Next up on another DC book, we got Batman/Superman number 17, written by Gene Luen Yang, art and cover art by Danny Mickey, and art and cover art by Ivan Reis. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. In a world where Superman's rocket never reached Earth, the Dark Knight and his sidekick discover a startling rift between dimensions. On the other side, a world where Martha Wayne survived and Bruce never grew up to be Batman. Not only that, but a strange alien has emerged from the rift who's faster than a locomotive and can leap tall buildings in a single bound. The Superman of Metropolis. When these worlds collide, the architects of this alternate history are revealed, and the only ones who can thwart their deadly experiments are the Batman and Superman of Earth Zero. It's a dynamic dual world adventure. Yes. So Gene Luen Yang took issue number 16, and I read it today, and holy crap, that is a good start to a book. So you're thinking, okay, there's two stories going around from last issue. There's two stories going around. It's the it's the Superman and Batman book. And as you're reading it, you can read one or the other. I read both because holy crap, you're writing two stories for one story, and at the end, you're like, that's cool. Batman and Superman have to stop it because it's messing with continuity. Well, not messing with continuity, but it's just like, let's do an Elseworlds, but with our main Batman and Superman books, which I'm totally down. If you want to jump on this book, issue 16 is a jumping off point. I do believe it's sold out. If not, try hunting it down. It's good to read. It's a good book, so I recommend it. Next up, we got another DC book. We got Batman Black and White #5, written by Kieron Gillen, Mariko Tamaki, Jorge Jimenez, and Jamal Campbell, and Lee Weeks. And the art is done by Jorge Jimenez, Jamal Campbell, Lee Weeks, and Emanuela Lapuccino, and Jamie McKelvey. And the cover art is by Lee Weeks, and the price of the book is $5.99. And of course, this is the description of the book. The penultimate issue of the acclaimed return to Batman Black and White is here, with a look at some of Gotham City's most twisted and compelling souls. Superstar Batman artist Jorge Jimenez writes and illustrates a story starring Bruce and Damian Wayne as they try to prepare for a sting operation as Batman and Robin, with Damian questioning Bruce's methods every step of the way. Multiple Eisner Award winner writer of Detective Comics, Mariko Tamaki, and fan favorite artist Emanuela Puccino show what's become of Gilda Dent, former bride of Two-Face and current scourge of supervillains. Jamal Campbell, acclaimed co-creator of Naomi and Green Lantern, Joe Mullen from Far Sector, tells a story that spans the full history of Nightwing. Kieron Gillen and Jamie McKelvey, the celebrated team behind Phonogram, Young Avengers, and The Wicked and Divine, make their DC doubt with a story that pits Batman against the Riddler in a way you've never seen before. And finally, legendary comics artist Lee Weeks writes and draws a story that has the ghost of Jim Gordon's past coming back to haunt him. Batman Black and White, I love it because they're just all anthology stories, and you know what? It's been good ever since. I've read each one of these. They don't disappoint because it's on continuity. It's all its own story. They're just one shots, and they're wonderful one shots. It's done by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wonderful people, and you know what? It's a recommend in my opinion. We're gonna move on to another book. We got a Marvel book. We got Beta Ray Bill #2, written. Well, yeah, the creator is Walt Simonson, and it's written, drawn, lettered, and cover arted by Daniel Warren Johnson, colors by Mike Spicer, letter by Joe Sabino, and designer by Stacy Zucker. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. Valhalla is calling. Beta Ray Bill. Bill goes hunting for Odin, still desperate to resurrect his former lost hammer, Stormbreaker. But the former king of Asgard is far from his glory days. Stormbreaker is never coming back, but there is one place where Beta Ray Bill could restore his full powers. The All-Father of Nothing offers the Corbinite a path to immortality at a price not even a god can afford. Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer's off the rails tale of Cosmic Vengeance and Baron Breakdowns continues here. Yes. I like Beta Ray Bill, and to see him do something. I think the last time he was in a major book was what? In Unworthy Thor. I think that's where he had the most presence. And he was in Guardians of the Galaxy by Donny Cates, and the Inhumans book that Donny Cates wrote. But yes, it's an amazing book. I haven't read it just yet, but I like Daniel Warren Johnson's work. His Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, really cool. And to see him tackle this Marvel character, so down. So if you want to pick up a good Marvel book, I recommend Beta Ray Bill. Next up, we're going to move on to another book. We got Boom Studios' Berserker #2, written by Matt Kint and Keanu Reeves. Art by Alessandro Vitti, and cover art by Raphael Grandpa. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. U.S. government Dr. Diana Ahuja seeks to unlock the mysterious bee's memories. Lifetimes of violence and tragedy like no one else who has ever lived that began with a fateful decision in ancient Mesopotamia. But is Diana here to help him, or is she serving a darker agenda? Berserker. Number one came out awesome. Apparently it's been picked up for a show or a movie. I don't know. I just know Keanu Reeves was writing a comic. I'm like, cool. I'm reading it. So, issue one is out in comic book shops. So there you go. Pick it up. Pick up issue 1 and 2 when you're at the comic book shop. I like Berserker number one. It's enjoyable. It's a good read. And I can't wait for the lore it's going to build for what's to come in the next few issues. So hold it down. Next up, we get a Marvel comic. We got Cable number 10, written by Gary Duggan, the head of X himself, Jonathan Hickman. Art and cover art by Phil Noto, lettered by Joe Sabino, designer by Tom Mueller. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. The child of summer, as Cable and company draw closer to the secret of the missing child, a reckoning draws even closer. So, as we get closer to issue 12, because issue 12 is the finale for this book, we've been getting heavy hints for old Cable. He might be coming back. Now, I doubt he's coming back because he's already dead. If not, Jonathan Hickman would have already brought him back. Because Jonathan Hickman could have been, screw young Cable, bring just old Cable back. But I think he might be coming back, but you never know. I like this book, to be honest. I look forward to this book every week, even though I'm like, I don't like Cable, and I'm like, I like this Cable, and just getting that, getting hints to that future storyline. I don't know, it's good. What issue was a good jumping out point? So this is issue 7 was a good jumping out point. So if you want to pick this up, issue 7 is just jumping out point. Next up, we're going to move on to another book. We got Image Comics Crossover number 6, written by Donny Cates. Cover art by Jeff Shaw, and colors by D. Kunife, lettered by John J. Hill. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. The dome has been shattered. The world is burning. Everything has come undone. Do not miss the shocking conclusion to the blockbuster finale chapter of Kids Love Chains. Yes, this is the finale for the story arc. Now, next issue, I believe Chip Zdarsky is writing it. Yes, Chip Zdarsky is writing it, and he's doing the cover art. Chip Zdarsky, I keep forgetting he does great art, but we're focusing on crossover with Donny Cates right now. So, yes. Trade, if you want to hunt down the issues, go ahead, but trade will be easier in your wallet, and you can just pick up issue 7 when you're at the comic book shop. Next up, we got Image Comics. We got Department of Truth number 8, written by James Tynion IV, art and cover art by Martin Simmons. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. New story arc: Cole Turner thought he joined the right side of the war for the truth, but now that he's learning more about Lee Harvey Oswald's tenure leading the department, he's not so sure. The answers Cole seeks are hidden behind a pair of unsolvable riddles. Who is the fictional woman, and what does she want from him? The second arc of the smash hit Department of Truth begins here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This book. Conspiracy theories. If you look conspiracy theories, this is your book. It's a new story arc. Jump on right now. Next up, we got another book. We got a DC book. We got Detective Comics number 1035, written by Mariko Tamaki and art by Clayton Henry. The art is also done by Dan Mora, who also does the cover art. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. Introducing Mr. Worth. When his daughter is killed during the brutal crime wave gripping Gotham City, 8-foot-tall stack of muscle and money, Roland Worth sets out on a path of revenge toward the prime suspect in the crime, Batman. The Dark Knight has been framed for murder, and to make matters worse, this grisly deed seems to be connected to yet another emerging villainous force on the horizon. It's a rogues gallery explosion, and this time there's no mansion on the hill for Bruce Wayne to mount his counter attack. Plus, part one of Hunters and Hunted, this two-part story zeroes in on on Gotham's own violent vengeance. In this chapter, her world is rocked by the gruesome murder of a dear friend. There's more to this sinister scene than meets the eye. Marika Tamaki, I read her Detective Comics finally, and it's good. I was worried there. A lot of people worried, but after Future State, I think we're in good hands for Detective Comics, and I think Marika Tamaki's building up a mystery, and I like that. So, if you want to pick up Detective Comics, issue 1034 is your perfect jumping on point. Next up, we got another Marvel book. We got Fantastic Four number 31, written by Dan Slott, art by R.B. Silva, colors by Jesus Alberto, lettered by Joe Caramagna and Carlos Lau, and cover art by Mark Brooks. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. The moment Reed Richards has been waiting for has finally arrived. He can finally use the Forever Gate to explore somewhere new, travel forth to a realm in the Marvel universe where no one has ever gone before. So of course, he's going to need his best friend and test pilot Ben Grimm by his side. Join the Fantastic Four's two dads as they venture into the great unknown. Can they or our Larger Magna survive the onomatopoeia collapse? I don't know how to say that word. But new story arc. It's after King in Black. If you like Fantastic Four, there's your jumping off point. Uh Next up we got the comics by Ahoy Comics. We got Happy Hour number 6, written by Peter Milligan, art and cover art by Malcolm Montenant. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. Lyra Mo's last issue. In the near future America where sadness is illegal, the odyssey of miserablest fugitives, Jerry and Kim, come to an offbeat end, plus forlorn fiction and dejected drawings in the Ahoy manner. Ahoy, it's such a weird comic, and I like it. My friend got it. He said read it. I read it. I'm like, it's cool. Then I read the second issue. That's where things get interesting. So, in America, there's no such thing as sadness. They really brainwash you to be happy. Messed up. I like that. It's a good book. So, I guess you can wait for a trade because I think it's the final issue. Yeah, it says last issue. So, it's the last issue. It's a good end. Next up, we got a DC book. We got Harley Quinn number 2, written by Stephanie Phelps, art and cover art by Riley Rossmo. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. You sure you want to double down on this gimmick? Alright, already, I'll do it. Harley Quinn back again to tell you that my mission to help heal Gotham City has already hit some bumps in the road. The awful Hugo Strange, psychiatrist, fitness freak, and expert on tiny glasses is trying to deal with Gotham City's clown problem. And get this, the city is endorsing him while everyone keeps giving me grief. The only person who believes in me is my new sidekick, Kevin. You're going to find out some real dark stuff about him in this issue too. We're going to have to keep our guard up because Hugo has an army of creepy orderlies he's about to send after us. Yes. I like Harley Quinn issue 1. We got basically she works for Batman. She works for Batman. I mean, there you go. After if you read James Tynion IV's Batman, what issue after issue 100? I mean, Clown hunted her for a while. It's been a while for Batman. So if you haven't read those, I mean, you've had quite a while to catch up. But it's enjoyable. I recommend issue 1. Next up, we got I Breathed a Body number 4, written by Zach. It's by Aftershock Comics. Sorry, I Breathed a Body number 4, written by Zach Thompson, art and cover by Andy McDonald. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. A scientific fiction horror series about social media, big tech, and influencer culture. More determined than ever, Annie risks her life and soul to perform a dangerous ritual that will change the world. So begins the final live stream, broadcast to every single one of Milo's 400 million subscribers. This is not a dream. Not a dream. We're using the bacterial cultures in your body as an electrical receiver. You must heed our next words very carefully. Oh my god, I breathed a body. Oh. It's creepy visual body art. That's all I could say. I'd say if you want to read this, read issue 1 and then decide for yourself if this is a book you want to read. Next up, we get a Marvel comic. We got Miles Morales number 25, written by Saladin Ahmed, art by Carmen Carnero, cover art by Tarun Clark. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. The Clone Saga Miles Morales style. We finally see the full extent of what the assessor did when he kidnapped Miles back in Miles Morales Spider-Man number 7. This oversized anniversary issue lets the clones loose in Brooklyn and messes with Miles' life even more than Peter's Clone Saga messed his life up. Yes. Miles gets the clone treatment, which, oh my god. Why does every writer need to tackle the Clone Saga? Oh well, we'll see how this is. I don't know how to feel about this. I will read it, and we'll see if it leads anywhere. The Clone Saga of all things. But before I go to the next book, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, of course, the links are down below, and you can find me at a Random Nerd 2016. The comic book shop locator to find your local comic book shop is down in the description. My friend who made music, and the 2 websites I use for my comic information, which is leagueofcomicgeeks.com/new/comics, I believe, or new comics. I don't know. It's in the description, and midtowncomics.com. There you go. We're going to move on to the next book, another Marvel book. We got New Mutants number 17, written by Vita Ayala, the head of X himself, Jonathan Hickman, art by Rod Reese, letter by Travis Lanham, and designer by Tom Mueller, and cover art by Christian Ward. We'll say the cover art by Christian Ward, so dope. The price is $3.99, of course, this is the description of the book. Well, what's left over when you go home? With a mutant child lost in the otherworld, it's up to new mutants to find and extract him without losing themselves in the process. Meanwhile, on Krakoa, Warlock makes a friend, Wolfsbane makes a friend, magic makes some enemies. Issue 14 is where this new story arc started. It's written by Vita Ayala. She started it, and you know what? It's interesting. What is his name? I had this problem last issue. I know the villain's name. I'm gonna look at Shadow King. There we go. Shadow King. Shit, they brought Shadow King back. He's always up to mysterious stuff. So to see him, I'm like, yes, things are gonna stir the pot. So, yes. We're gonna move on to a independent comic. We got Boom Studios Once and Future number 18, written by Kieron Gillen, art and cover art by Dan Mora. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. The truth shall be revealed, and our world is hardly ready for the consequences to come. But don't worry, Duncan and Bridget are here to save Britain from being pulled into the other world, unless, of course, they fail. Issue 12 or 13 is like your jumping out point, but here's the thing about this book. read the trade, because holy crap, I got into this book very late and I regret it and I'm mad with myself. So if you want to read Once and Future, read the trade. Because trust me, once you read that first trade or first issue, you're going to be like, this book is amazing. There you go. Next up, by DC Comics, we got Robin #1, written by Joshua Williamson, cover art by Gleb Melnikov. The price of the book is $3.99. $3.99. Of course, this is the description of the book. After learning of the deadly League of Lazarus tournament, Damian Wayne has a new mission: to win the tournament and prove he is the greatest fighter in the DC universe. But first, he must find the secret island where the tournament is being held. Yes. A Robin by Jamestown. Not Jamestown. I don't know why I keep saying Jamestown the Fourth. By Joshua Williamson. Robin by Joshua Williamson. Here's the thing. I like Joshua Williamson. I read his Flash. I will read his Robin. We've seen hints of his Robin in what? Batman 106, Batman 107. I think it's 106 because 105 was Batman 106 and Detective Comics number 1034. So totally down. This book has been hinted for a while, and to see that it's finally here, I could almost grab it in my hands. So down. Next up, by Marvel Comics, we got Savage Avengers number 20, written by Gary Dugan, art by Patrick Zurcher, cover art by Valerio Giangiordano. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. A marvelous Marvel team-up between Conan and the Rhino goes awry when Spider-Man threatens to ruin their good time. So if you want to jump on Savage Avengers, this is jumping on point because Conan and Rhino have fun, and Spider-Man's like, "What are you doing?" I'm so down. And Gary Dugan knows how to write comedy. I think this is the mystical comedy book I've always wanted. So there we go. I find it comedic, so I don't think people find it comedic, but I find it comedic. Next up, we got a DC book. We got Teen Titans Academy number 2, written by Tim Sheridan, art and cover art by Rafa Sandoval, and of course, the price is $3.99, and this is a description of the book. Question mount around the new school formed by the original new Teen Titans. What's going on with Billy Batson's access to the powers of Shazam? What dark secret is Raven's new pupil Dane hiding, and who's masquerading as the new Red Axe? Okay, issue 1 had the introduction to all of our characters. All of our Titans or Teen Titans have become, teachers now. And yeah, we're getting mystery. Well, it's being integrated that, Nightwing or Robin, well, when he was Robin, he wore the Red Axe costume, and he's like, I lost it. It's here. And yeah, someone wears it. Now, I'm just giving you a brief overview of what's happened, but it was an okay issue. There was action, but it's just like, it's alright. It's not bad. It's a new story arc. It's a new writer, so I give him some leeway. Not everyone's thing is going to be like, oh my god. But if you read like Red Axe, I guess you could read this. I'll just read it because I like Teen Titans. I like Titans, and I didn't have a Titans book for a while. Anything Titan I didn't have, so to finally have a Titans book, I'm glad to have it. So there we go, issue 1 and 2. And our final book of the week by Marvel, U.S. Agent number 5, written by Christopher Priest, penciled by Georges Gianti, inker by Carl Story, and colors by Matt Milla, letter by Joe Sabino, designer by Stacey Zucker, and cover art by Marco Cicchetto. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. American Zealot concludes with the former U.S. agent struggling to save an improvised mining town from an unhinged super patriot who happens to be his own sister, suffering a major psychotic break. But can he place the town's lives over hers? And can Walker survive a SmackDown against his replacement, the Murder Saint? Which U.S. agent will retain the Shield? U.S. Agent. It's a fine miniseries. Issue 2 is where I think it really lost me. But issue 3 was fine. I haven't read issue 4. So I guess when I have time, I'll catch up. I have a lot of books. I think I have over 100 books to catch up, so that's fine. But yeah, there are the comics of the week. I hope you guys decide what you want, and thank you for watching, as always. And everyone, please be careful in these times. We are still in this weird world. Be safe. Take care. Keep in contact with your friends and family. But as always, everyone, take care. And as always, peace.